Check this out. Working 40 hours per week can't pay for a 2-bedroom home in any U.S. state. According to the National Low Income Housing Report of 2025, a full-time worker must earn an hourly rate of $33.63 to afford a basic home. The typical U.S. worker would need to work 116 hours weekly. That's 3 full-time jobs to pay for a 2-bedroom rental. Look, we know the majority of people is not making $30+ an hour. We know that. All you have to do is call around, call all your friends, call all your family, and ask everybody what do they make an hour. I will guarantee you less than 5% is making over $30 an hour. We know this. So while you're going out your way trying to impress people, these people can't even pay their bills. Especially if they're single, most of these people cannot even afford to pay their rent. Most of these people are about to get evicted. Most of these people got lights and gas shut-off notices sitting on their kitchen counter. Most of these people are looking for a helpmate, somebody who can help them pay some bills. Why do you think when you meet a female these days, the first thing they talk about is bills, bills, bills? Nigga, are you going to help me pay these bills? Why do y'all think that? Can't afford them. They getting evicted. Them lights and gas is getting shut off. Why do you think the majority of the dudes that you do business with today run out with money? Broke. Ain't got no money. Can't afford his rent. Can't afford nothing. And I just seen a post earlier today, where GM is laying off more plant workers. The majority of people you know are not making $30+ an hour. The majority of people you know cannot afford a regular 2-bedroom house. The majority of people you know are in a financial crisis. They facing evictions. They facing shutoff. They got all kind of shutoff notices, but they jump on social media and they play it as if life is great and everything is good. Stop trying to impress people. Stop going out there bad and stop getting these cars, because they giving y'all these cars right now. These car lots, they giving y'all these cars right now because they ain't moving. So anybody can go to the car lot right now and get a car. Don't go get no car you can't afford because you're going to be living to pay a car note. I'm seeing that too. A lot of people living to pay car notes. Y'all gonna learn.
There's no matter what advice you could give to anybody, everybody's in the same boat. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all our brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto us like foreigners, from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. No matter what advice you could give, I remember I was given advice by a relative of mine saying, they motivated and got to get a job, got to do all this other craziness. We're seeing rent freeze. And that was, let's say, a couple of weeks ago. And now that same relative of mine is scouring, looking for another job, and opportunities keep popping up because of the location that relative is at. Because certain places you could get a job and you could have a job for like 2 weeks or so and get laid off because it is a revolving door. The name of the game is not to get a revolving door. The name of the game is to be steady. The reason why the older generations was able to have something because they had steady jobs. So they're giving you impossible tasks with impossible ratings, with impossible. This was the reason why I looked at, because I seen this the other day in the news, local news, which New York City is supposed to have a rent freeze. It says New York City rent freeze program consisting of seniors, whatever, disabled programs. It helps eligible low-income seniors, people with disabilities, and rent-regulated apartments keeping their housing affordable by freezing their rent at this current level and protecting them from the future increase if the landlords receive tax breaks. Now, this is how it was supposed to be. Actually, it was supposed to be more. You had rent stable here in New York, stabilization, whatever. In other words, this is not happening now. This is what this guy, the new mayor, is trying to do. It was supposed to allow not to go high, just for you, your rent was gonna be locked in because of the building, because of everything. That was it. But what they did was because of the pandemic, what the pandemic did, they all these apartments, these spaces, office spaces, apartments, everything, they was being built up. Nobody was taking them because ding 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 ding, there was a shutdown. So now the greedy motherfucking banks still wanted their money. So now they had the landlords in the city decide, oh, we gotta put the rent up. And this is just one city. So I can imagine what they did to the other cities. And when they put the rent up, which nobody can afford, now they basically saying this guy's basically saying, what's this guy? Mondi, whatever. Next mayor. What's this guy's name? Mamdi, whatever. Zoran. So he's trying to get the rent freeze. But there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. The average rent, I seen it the other day. The average rent in New York City, this is New York now, rent for a one bedroom apartment is ding, 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 ding. Wow. It says the average rent for a one bedroom apartment varies significantly by location, but in major US cities like New York City, it's hovering around 4,000 to 5,000. All right? Which is fucking insane. Well, I heard about um, San Francisco. Forget about that. The same fucking thing. It says the New York State average around 2,500, but significant in New York City, Queens average 27. So Manhattan, which is the main city, 5,000 for one bedroom. The Queens, man, 2,400, 144. Hey, how about you? Brooklyn, 4,000. Yo, this shit is crazy. This shit is fucking crazy. So this guy, the new mayor, is trying to get a, I guess, lock it up type situation, and they try to charge the billionaires for to help out, basically, which is going to lead the billionaires to leave. So this whole entire scenario I just broke down is a whole total failure. No way in hell nobody can afford that. You heard what the guy said. You need to make $33 an hour. The average person can't even keep their jobs that have had $33 an hour, let alone a government job that was supposed to be guaranteed. So everybody here is struggling, and it's all by design. Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon have been the golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Drunken of what? Through their philosophies. One of the main philosophies of America is what? Capitalism. Okay? Now you have the opposite of capitalism, which is communism, where everybody works for each other. Basically, if you make money, your money goes into everything for the rest of the people. Either way, the different philosophies of Esau is being spread. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Because you never hear in the ancient world they had to pay X amount of money to live in a cave. You will never hear some crazy shit like that. I gotta say it like that because most apartment buildings, that's what they are. They're a design of a cave. So everybody's upset in America, outside of America, because of the way things are running. Now, with the whole energy crisis was going on with Venezuela, Esau is trying to steal all the resources and not think about the outcome of everything. So the resources that's going to help not the poor is going to help the very rich. The nations are angry. Also, part of all this is feminism. Feminism was the child of the elites to 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 tax both people in the household. But now there's only really one person in the household. Okay? Where it's supposed to be two heads who's supposed to be able to bear the blunt of everything. But the conflict between men and women is so real that they can never work with each other. Because of what? The philosophies of this man. So therefore the nations are angry. They're mad. They're mad. They're pissed off. Like, yo, divorce rates at an all-time high. Not only here in America and West Europe. Why? Because they're angry. Okay? Now they have a digital system, a, a digital ID in the UK, and the people in the UK are pissed off. They're angry because this whole concept, people have been drinking the bullshit that they've been given by the elites. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain. So it doesn't matter if there's a rent freeze or there's a UBI, anything of that sort, there's no comeback. The cost of living is ridiculous. Nobody can afford nothing. They did the tax, not the federal cuts today. Was it today or I don't know, whatever. And it doesn't mean nothing to nobody. All right? It just means that they can't borrow as much. But like you said, the people that's selling cars, they're just giving them away, which are not, because they putting people into more bondage. That's all it is. And they're repossessing people's cars. So there's no healing for this. There's no stimulus. This guy wants to give $2,000 per citizen just to feed the same system that's been failing everybody. That's going to go right back to the system. If I just looked up 2,000 for New York, and Miami is ridiculous. Probably Dallas, California is always out of this world. Chicago, all these major cities that's not giving great services, that $2,000 is going to be ate up for a proper person. That's just some cases, some of the rent money. So there's no healing for this place. All right, it's done, it's through. Their greed has gone too far. And now, if they kick you out, it's illegal to be homeless. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone to his own country. Either they're gonna force you out or you're gonna leave. This place is done. For her judgment have reached unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Because it is greed of these people. Because of all the wickedness, the original sins. The original sin of Babylon the Great is the genocide of the Lord's people, and the enslavement of the Lord's people. All this is happening. So Esau has to pay for it. His greed is going to get him so far. He's shown no mercy to the very poor. None whatsoever. Get this real quick. 24:8. Oh, is it? He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. And that's the elites. They're the ones that they're mischievous. They created a system that you have to pay for you to live. And here it is. You want to go out to work and they're not keeping you around to pay off. And remember this asshole said 50-year mortgages, more debt, more enslavement. Okay? That's the aim of, that's what they really want from the people, to enslave the majority of the people. Proverbs 22:7, the rich ruleth over the poor, and it's obvious. Obviously, the rich is ruling over the poor. They the ones passing these draconian laws. Some brilliant person decided, oh, let's hike up everything. Let's kick people out. If they go in the streets, we're gonna arrest them for it. This is this man is the devil. He shows no mercy towards the poor. It says, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So this is what they're doing. They're creating a whole bunch of slaves out of the mere fact of the very same fucked up system that they created. This is why the people are angry. All right. Enough is enough. The people are pissed. Everybody got every right to be pissed off. There's no end to this man's madness, which we know what the end is. And technically, the end is really the majority of people that get deleted. And it's a handful of the living people to be branded. That is really their game, their end game. They don't require every single soul. It's not feasible for them. Now, if they get it, majority of people, which is good, but they still consider people useless eaters. So, yeah, this man he's cunningly devious. That's a diabolical, evil fucking plan. This is why you have gates of hell. Carl Schwab, the other guy, I keep forgetting. I don't know how to pronounce it. Noah Hovani. I think I finally got it right. All these mother effers are the mouthpiece of the elites because they see the poor as useless eaters. They don't see you as humans. They see you as pets. Not even a pet. All right. James 2:7. Oh, sorry, I gotta go up. 6. But ye have despised the poor. Do not the rich man oppress you? Enjoy you before the judgment seats? Yeah, because if you're not able to pay these loans and just to live, you're gonna have to see the judges, and the judge is gonna like, what you have for yourself? Yeah, this whole thing is about to crash, man. Straight up, you could feel it. 2026, the year of the great crash, probably, because it's just too much. It's too much for everybody. No ifs, ands, buts about it. It's just too much. Yeah, but it's the rich that set you up. The rich is the one that um put you in that horrible position. The elites, the ones that you people want to mirror their life and their riches. Well, in order to get those riches, they have to destroy you. So anybody that sit there and take sides with them, you're sick in the head. Okay? You're sick in the head. And there's a great now I won't say rebellion. There's a great revolt that's about to take place. Matter of fact, St. John, no, St. John. 2 Ezra 15:14, it says, woe to the world and to them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, which the modern day sword is a gun. So people are going to go against each other. It's about to be truly the survival of the fittest. They made movies behind this, all right? And we are familiar with that particular movie. They made a whole fucking, was it 4 movies? It's called The Purge, all right? For there shall be sedition among men, inciting the overthrow, inciting anger, and invading one another. Why would people invade one another? Because they don't have nothing, all right? And if they do have, they need to take from others in order to survive. It's going to get that bad. And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, because the very rich, this is a billion, like the last guy, he said, this is a billionaire's world. So the people that really, like, what's this guy? Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, right? He made a statement, pretty much anybody questions them, they should be hung publicly. Or was it the guy from the head of the Palantir? Whatever. So these people exercising their authority as kings and princes, crowns in their head, and the only thing that's allowing them to do that is because of their finances that they have. So they don't give two shits about anybody, but the people are going to, they lose it. They're going to lose it. And it says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power by their own thoughts. A man should desire to go into the city and should not be able, for because of the pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So we entering the phases of the great tribulation and the lack of bread. All brought to you by the goddamn elites. So with that being said, shalom to the elect. Shalom.